Top 5 most complimented perfumes for women on a budget. So you can smell amazing without having to spend an arm and a leg. Isn't that great? So all 5 of these fragrances are super inexpensive. I think the most inexpensive one on this list is like 20 bucks, 25 bucks. If you look around, if I find links, I'm going to drop them down below. But a lot of these fragrances are highly, highly inexpensive and they smell incredible. I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on these 5, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on these 5 most complimented perfumes for women, all of these smell amazing, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from ladies on various social media platforms telling me that they also get tons and tons of compliments from these fragrances, and a lot of them, if not, I think all of them, all of them are inspired by more popular designer or niche fragrances, mostly niche, but all of these are amazing. Like in the number 5 spot, for example, we have a perfume by Swiss Arabian, and this one is called Rose 01. Now, this is actually the brand's take on Delina by Parfums de Marly. So if you're familiar with Delina, rose, lychee, peony, Madagascan vanilla, it's such an amazing fragrance. And I know so many brands are putting out their version of it. I know Dossier has a version of it. I know the Dua brand has a version of it. I mean, there's no shortage of Delina dupes on the market, if we're being honest. But Rose 01 is one of the longest lasting alternatives to Delina. It is going to be one of the priciest fragrances on this list, depending on where you buy it. Sometimes retailers might be running a promotion, so please look around. If I find a decent link, I'm going to drop it down below. But Rose 01 by Swiss Arabian is amazing. If you like that Delina DNA, of course, there's also Rose Couture by Kadlaj. There's so many perfumes out there, but this one is one of the longest lasting fragrances that I have tried that is impersonating Delina. It's so sensual, it's playful. That Madagascan vanilla is not as sweet as it is in the exclusive version. It's amazing. I really, really love this one. So the next one is like a floral caramel fragrance. There's a lot of jasmine and the caramel in here is not too sweet. So I really appreciate that. A lot of the fragrances in this collection are kind of sweet, but this is one of the ones that's not as sweet. So I do want to talk about it. By Lattafa, it's called Yara Moi. Now, there's also Yara Tos, which is kind of like a mango fragrance. It's in a yellow bottle. And then there's the original Yara, which is floral. There's Yara Candy, which is one of my favorites, if I'm being honest with you. Yara Candy is just this phenomenal strawberry, sweet vanilla type of a scent. Some florals in there as well, but this is caramel and jasmine. So I think this one gets compared to Marc Jacobs Perfect, if I'm not mistaken. It's amazing. I really, really love this one. And I like recommending this to ladies because, you know, it's not too floral. And I think the women really appreciate that. They don't want anything too floral. They don't want anything too sweet. They want something that's right in the middle. And I know there's a lot of women who have a penchant for gourmand perfumes, but a lot of them are starting to develop somewhat of an aversion to gourmand perfumes. So I at least 10 times a day, I get a comment from the ladies saying, you know, can you recommend something that is not sweet? Or can you recommend something with no vanilla? And so if you're looking for something that is not too heavy-handed on the sweetness, this Yara in particular, Yara Moi, is amazing. And it's so cheap too, you know? So you're gonna get 100 ml eau de parfum, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Eau de parfum, natural spray, it says. No, it's not. There's synthetics in here. The next one, also by Lattafa. So I think we have everything else on this list is Lattafa. I promise you it's not sponsored. I purchased every single one of these either from Amazon or some other place. The next fragrance on this list is phenomenal. This one is inspired by Gris Charnel by BDK Parfum. So that fragrance is iris, fig, tea. It's a gorgeous fragrance, a little whisper of vanilla in the dry down. And this one is also going for a very, very good price online. I looked it up prior to recording this video. By Lattafa, this one is called Liam Gray. So if you have never tried Gris Charnel, and by the way, I recommend that you do try it because I think Gris Charnel is a masterpiece and I'm a huge fan of what the brand BDK Parfum is doing. But if you've never tried Gris Charnel and you're on a really, really tight budget, you can go ahead and pick this one up and you're gonna get, I don't want to call it a carbon copy, but you're going to get something that is very, very similar to the original. And this one is just amazing. Really, really, I can't get enough of this one. And just that creaminess of the fig, it's a little lactonic. The tea is very smooth, and the sweetness and the dry down is supple while not being suffocating, you know? It's a beautiful perfume. In the number 2 spot, another Lattafa. This one is a milky tuberose. And I think just by that description alone, a lot of people can probably guess what it is. And I love my tuberose perfumes, right? Atlantide by Tiziana Terenzi, Fracas by Robert Piguet. Tuberose is a beautiful, beautiful ingredient. Tuberose Imperial by BDK Parfum, another phenomenal fragrance that brand has. But this one is actually inspired by this gem, and this is an absolute masterpiece, by the way. If you don't own Blanche Bête and you have the budget for it, it is amazing, right? So this one by Lattafa is called Her Confession. And the presentation, I get it. It's a little too gaudy for some people's tastes. So I have both. I have Her Confession and His Confession, which is in the black bottle. That one is inspired by Celine's black tie, super classy. And I actually don't own the original. And after getting the Lattafa counterpart, now I want to get the original because I think it smells amazing. This one, a lot of people say is a bit sweeter than Blanche Bête. So if you don't mind that, if you don't mind this sort of amplified vanillic milky quality in the dry down, but it's this powdery tuberose milk type of a fragrance, it smells amazing. It's an olfactory masterpiece, and or I should say the original is an olfactory masterpiece, but this one is such an amazing alternative. A little kitsch. I know some people would say that, but you know, you're not wearing the bottle around your neck, right? You're just spraying it. So check this one out. And the box is actually really nice as well. Actually, I kind of like the presentation for this one. Definitely gives off like Victorian vibes, and which coincidentally, Lattafa just came out with one called Victorian or Victoria, I think. Anyway, the perfume in the number 1 spot, and this one I put it high up on the list for a few different reasons. 1, it is super strong and super long lasting. 2, it's incredibly versatile. 3, it's inspired by a really, really popular fragrance and an expensive brand, albeit available at Sephora and whatnot, but it is on the pricey side of things. 4, it smells amazing, and I think it has that compliment factor, and it has a wow factor about it that I really, really appreciate. And I also think it's going to be the cheapest one on this entire list. So I know I checked, I forget where, but I saw it going for $24.99. If it's more than that, if it's more than 30, I'd say don't get it, save your money. But if you find it 30 or sub 30, I would say it's 100% worth the pickup. And for me at least, it just, I know it's gonna sound weird, but it kind of smells like freshly shampooed hair. It smells like a really elegant shampoo. I don't know why, but I just love the way that this one smells. And this one is a very, not very sweet, but it's a very fresh, slightly tart apple fragrance. And this one by Lattafa is called Bade al Oud Sublime. So this is actually the brand's take on Eden Juicy Apple by Kayali. And you know, there's the Yum Pistachio Gelato, and there's the one with Yum Rock Sugar, Candy Rock Sugar or something or the other. And that one is a great fragrance as well, although that one is quite sweet leaning. Again, this one I say is more versatile than the rest because it's not overly gourmand. And the lasting power on it is like incredible. Thinking it's gonna be this fruity, bright, citrusy fragrance, but despite those aspects, it still lasts a very long time. So 5 most complimented perfumes for women on a budget. Let me know, do you own any of these, or are you interested in picking up any of these fragrances? And I may do a part 2 to this video depending on the demand. If you want me to do a part 2, drop your comment down below and let me know. I'd be more than happy to curate a second list for you. But all of these are amazing, and you know, that's not to say that everything Lattafa puts out is gold, because it's not, right? But these 4 by Lattafa and this Swiss Arabian, absolutely phenomenal. I hope you have a chance to try these soon. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you took something of value from today's episode. And of course, if you did, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.